Hey, good morning everyone. This is TractorMan44. In this particular video, we're going to get a lot done. I think we're going to get the rear axle of the tandem setup in place, as well as the hydraulic pump, the pump motor, and the battery box. I'm going to get that all welded in and ready to go. With a little luck, hopefully that'll kind of match up a little bit. The rear bolts slipped in just perfectly, and in retrospect I probably should have put them through the eyelets on the springs first, because the back bolt where the slipper springs just slide over the top, so that's not critical. The front measurement, however, is critical, so I'm going to have to ferret the axle back and forth. That's all it took, just a little bit. So I'm just going to tighten those guys up real quick. Well, if I'm not mistaken, it looks just a little bit better than it did when we started. Well, maybe not quite as good. At least there was paint on everything when we started. Oh, Joe Lesage and Dave, they're going to get on me about not having any paint on this here. But I kind of like that patina. But at any rate, it's definitely on the path to recovery. I've got to get that axle, the front axle, picked up and get that on there. But in the meantime, I've got to tack weld some conduit in there for all the wiring, and then we're going to have to rewire the whole thing front to back. It's time to go ahead and pick up the battery hydraulic system compartment. And I had my son trim this all up the other day, so I'll have to see if it's ready to set in the hole. Now this is about 3/16 plate, and I did grind the backside that time, so I only had one minor blowout. So that paint has a lot to do with how this stuff works, or how it doesn't work at any rate. I'm very new to plasma torching. I've always used oxyacetylene and sawzalls and everything, but plasma is really intriguing. Now that's not what I would consider bad cutting for the speed that you go, and the fact that you can just pick it up as soon as you cut off. You can just pick it up and carry it off with a pair of just simple leather gloves. What those two plates were that I cut out was for the indentions on either side of the toolbox, for you to put chalk blocks or tackle or whatever you want, chains, binders, whatever, and you carry them along with you there. most of the welding. I'd bet 95% of the welding is done. It's time to start stringing a little bit of conduit, tack a little conduit up underneath the framework, you know, to kind of protect the wiring. And probably going to replace virtually all the wiring except from the pigtail back to our junction box. Clearance lights, blinkers, and tail lights, that's all going to be replaced with all brand new wiring. Oh, and electric brakes too. Like you said, the toolbox is in, and then the bottom trays of the areas where we'll carry, you know, like chains and chock blocks and all that is there. There's a junction box laying right there in the middle. That's really cool. If you ever wire in these trailers, especially a tandem axle trailer with electric brakes, they're absolutely great. Now, as usual, on every one of my projects, I lose track of which part I'm on. So at any rate, I think I'm going to call an end to this one, whichever one it is. Layla's giving me heck. I got to feed her. This is Tractor Man 44, and I am out of here.